Recently, I took a look at Sir Patrick Stewart's performance as Captain Jean-Luc Picard, analysing his mastery of line delivery, diction, and body language to create a fully realised person full of intelligence, strong morals, and deep-rooted passion, yet always kept in check with precise control and unshakable confidence. A result which seems effortless, but is, in fact, a hard-working actor at the height of his craft. But TNG's companion series Deep Space Nine features another acting masterclass in the form of Avery Brooks as Benjamin Sisko. I should start this video by saying that, admittedly, Avery Brooks' line delivery is weird. People always make fun of William Shatner's line delivery, but honestly, I think Avery Brooks has Shatner handily beat when it comes to odd intonations and strange speaking rhythm. In fact, some people in my comments opine that Avery Brooks is an over-actor at best and a bad actor at worst. Yet, quite paradoxically, this weirdness is illustrative of Avery Brooks' brilliant acting technique. Sure, it's a technique which produces some odd results at times. Ow! But at its best, his technique also produces some of the most emotionally impactful scenes in the entire Star Trek mythos. So let's unpack what's going on here so we can understand Avery Brooks as an actor and recognize the excellence of his performance as Benjamin Sisko. Like Patrick Stewart before him, Avery Brooks is a theatre-trained actor, having won early acclaim for a spree of performances on and off Broadway. This acting background is evident in Brooks' performance as Sisko in his unwaveringly perfect diction and precise breath control.
Lush green valleys covered in wildflowers that seem to spring up overnight. Hundreds of small crystal clear ponds interconnected by waterfalls.
All right.
But music is what defines Brooks' unique line delivery and acting technique. In the terrific documentary What We Left Behind, his co-stars repeatedly compare him to a jazz musician in the way he talks.
When he speaks, it's not in full sentences.
What do you want to know? Who's your favorite character? Child asked me. Huh? What do you mean? Who's my favorite character in Star Trek? It's gotta be Sisko. What? That made no sense. Otherwise...
Jazz is a famously improvisational style of music. Rather than adhering to a strict melody, artists are free to riff and jam, playing around the tune or straight up making one up as they go along. In contrast to Stewart's precise control, Brooks decides how he's going to play each line in the moment, varying pacing, rhythm, and tone from line to line, and sometimes even from word to word. While he never improvised the dialogue itself, he did improvise his delivery, which sometimes caught the cast and crew off guard. In the episode Heart of Stone, for example, in the scene when Nog first asks Sisko to sponsor his application to join Starfleet, Aaron Eisenberg recalls, "Avery Brooks is awesome. He has got such presence. There is a power behind his eyes. How can I explain it? He gives to you when he looks in your eyes. He doesn't just look at your eyes, but he looks in your eyes and feeds you. There was a scene we had rehearsed, but as soon as we shot it, he unexpectedly grabbed my shoulders and said, 'Tell me, Nog, what is it?' And it was awesome because it forced me to come up to that level. I didn't back down. I blurted out, 'Because I don't want to be like my father.' That was my favorite scene." At times you can even hear Brooks' audio peaking in the episodes when he suddenly yells out a line that the sound recordist clearly wasn't ready for.
We might get pretty singed at that range.
Not as singed as they're going to get. Engage!
Though occasionally this style of emotional improv line delivery leaves the viewer scratching their heads, there's no denying the magnetic effect it has. Just like William Shatner's unique cadence makes him stand out as a leading man, all eyes and ears immediately snap to Avery Brooks whenever he opens his mouth. Whether he's shouting at the top of his lungs,
I want to know what the hell is going on!
Going breathy and high-pitched,
Your soldiers, they'd all still be alive if we had trusted each other.
or dropping to an impossibly deep baritone.
Jake said you wanted to see me.
Yes, I do.
His manner of speech always makes him the center of attention, like a seasoned jazz musician wielding the words as his instrument. And if you love listening to jazz music in your day-to-day, good sound quality is important, hence today's sponsor, Raycon. Raycon's everyday earbuds are perfect for listening to your favorite music and podcasts while on the go, whether that be during a workout, commute, or perhaps simply when you're chilling at home. Raycon's latest model is better than ever with a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair them with 2 devices at once. Their ergonomic design makes them comfortable to wear, and with active noise cancellation, you can block out distractions to ensure the best listening experience possible. Stylish case covers also protect your earbuds from accidental damage and bad weather. Not only that, but they also support wireless charging, giving you 90 minutes of battery life after only a 10-minute charge. Follow the link in the description to go to buyraycon.com/RowanJ for 15% off your order. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring this video. Now let's return to Sisko. If Patrick Stewart's Picard can be defined by the word control, then Avery Brooks' Sisko can be defined by intensity. Whereas Stewart renders Picard's inner thoughts through subtle gestures and eye movements, Brooks is open and clear with Sisko's emotions. Rather than holding his emotions back with a steely captain's demeanor, he lets them show, infusing every word with feeling. You can see their differing approaches in their scene together in the first episode, Emissary. At first, Picard greets Sisko warmly, with Stewart flashing a cordial, pleasant smile. Sisko, however, is stern and unyielding, staring directly into Picard's eyes. To make sure they're both on the same page in this meeting, he makes sure to emphasize Wolf 359.
I was on the Saratoga at Wolf 359.
Picard is clearly hurt by this, but Stewart, exercising his precise control, shows us Picard's shock by simply dropping his gaze and immediately turning away to maintain his captainly demeanor. As he recovers his composure, he neutrally delivers his next lines. Sisko, however, remains firm with intense eye contact. When Picard brings up the Bajorans, to hide his sensitivity over the subject, Stewart once again shows Picard's control with a drop of the eyes and turns away. Sisko, however, clearly wanting to be anywhere else right now, borderline rolls his eyes behind Picard's back. He is blatantly dismissive and even mocking when he says the line,
"Sounds like they're not ready."
At this point, Picard is getting sick of Sisko's attitude, and Stewart shows this with a brief pause, tight, open jaw, and slight straightening of his posture before speaking his next lines, which are delivered with more power.
Your job is to do everything, short of violating the Prime Directive, to make sure that they are.
Brooks answers with the same fixed stare, showing Sisko isn't budging. Then Picard, perhaps feeling he may have overstepped, calms down. Stewart once again drops his eyes and relaxes his shoulders, returning to the cordial, diplomatic tone he started with, even flashing that pleasant smile again. But Sisko is having none of it. He makes no effort to hide his contempt as he rises from his chair. Each word he emphasizes feels almost like he's striking the finishing blows in a fight.
I will do the job I've been ordered to do to the best of my ability, sir.
Picard, defeated, ends the meeting by once again breaking eye contact and letting Sisko go with a weakened dismissed. This is yet another great example of Patrick Stewart's skills as an actor, but it's Avery Brooks who owns the scene. Another actor may have made Sisko come off as petulant or immature, but Brooks infuses Sisko with a simmering anger that leaves Picard, someone who wields an incredible sense of authority, completely powerless. For a more overt example of Avery Brooks' intense acting style, one need only look at the climactic scene of Far Beyond the Stars. Brooks, as Benny Russell as opposed to Benjamin Sisko, finds out his story won't be published, and Brooks conveys the character's utter heartbreak by almost hyperventilating. It's subtle at first as Benny takes these short, shallow breaths between his questions.
What exactly is it that he did not like? The artwork? The layout? What high standards is he talking about?
But when he's fired, the hyperventilating becomes more apparent. As Benny gets angrier, he fights to empower his voice by dropping it deeper, but with his shortness of breath, it comes out as a painful rasp.
No, I'm tired of being calm. Calm never got me a damn thing.
For the rest of his monologue, Brooks uses the full breadth of his vocal range, rising to a speaker-breaking shout.
You go ahead, call them!
weakening into soft, breathy pleading.
Every one of you know it. You read it.
Until his hyperventilation reaches its apex, and Brooks is literally gasping for breath for every word.
That future, that space station, all those people, they exist in here.
To the point where he's almost retching on the repeated word real.
Don't you understand? It is real. I created it, and it's real.
They call cut, and he's not coming out. And I know what that feels like as an actor. You're gone. And he was gone.
For a final example, let's look at the closing scene of the episode In the Pale Moonlight. It should be no surprise that Brooks won acclaim in his early stage career for a one-man show because he can deliver one hell of a monologue. But to explain why would cover points I've already made. How Brooks infuses each word with feeling, utilizes his full vocal range to magnetize the viewer's attention with constant variation in volume and intonation, but what I want to focus on here is Brooks's physical acting, which can be as varied and surprising as his vocal delivery. Watch how he plays with his glass in this final scene. He grips it lightly at the very ends of his fingers. His voice is low and strong, but the way he holds the glass here betrays Sisko's lingering uncertainty. As his monologue continues and he resigns himself to the situation, he raises the glass with a pinched overhanded grip, rather than a celebratory underhand grip, once again demonstrating Sisko's true feelings. And almost as if he realizes what the glass is doing, he puts it down with a hard thunk, his face briefly twitching out of frustration. As he talks himself around, his body language straightens and opens out as he rests his hands on his knees. Finally, he relaxes into a casual laid-back position, having put his conscience at ease.
Computer, erase that entire personal log.
Having to follow an acting titan like Patrick Stewart is an unenviable task for any actor to grapple with. Avery Brooks not only matched Stewart's thespian gravitas, but he also utilized his unique array of skills and techniques to craft a performance of magnetic intensity. Patrick Stewart may have made his work look effortless, but Brooks shows you his hard work, and it's hard work which definitely paid off. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on future uploads. On my Patreon, you can see videos early and ad-free. The link is in the description. Thank you to all of my patrons and members, with an ultra thanks to Eamon Kelly, Michael Hardy, County Ark, Mike Halsey, Olivia Computer, Bano, Jaron Walker, Tom, Director Kate, Patrick Fleming, Matthew Camille, Lilac Yane, Edmark Star, Extreme Streamers, Howard Craig Kervik, and AS Caging 101. Thank you once again for watching, and until next time, have a good one.